All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us to talk about the 5 benefits of using QuickBooks to run your commercial real estate business. And I know people are often told that they can't use QuickBooks to run their commercial real estate business. How often or how many times have you heard this statement that you cannot efficiently run your commercial real estate business in QuickBooks? Well, I don't think that's true, but first, let's take a step back and think about what the ideal property management system you're looking for should include. Now, here's just a small list of the things that our customers have told us over the past few years. They need an accountant who understands the system. They need to be able to do payroll. They need to be able to generate rent rolls. They need a system where they can track their certificates of insurance. And most importantly, they need to be able to do CAM reconciliation quickly. So these are just a few of the things that people have told us when they're looking for a property management solution. But I'm here today to tell you that it is possible to run a commercial real estate business using QuickBooks, and I'm going to show you exactly why. My name is Jerry Frank, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of STRATAFOLIO. And with me today is Lindsay Jakubovic, and she's our marketing manager here at STRATAFOLIO. I'm going to be taking you through this presentation, and Lindsay will be monitoring the chat for any questions that come up. And while I introduce our agenda today, I want to give everyone a few minutes or a few seconds here to just submit your questions ahead of time so we can be looking for them. What we're planning to cover today is an overview of exactly what STRATAFOLIO is and who we help, and then how we solve for the exact problems that I highlighted on slide 3, and then how we work with our customers. These are the most frequently found issues that we have discovered when working with our customers. Missed lease escalations, where that annual bump was missed. Tenants who had an expired lease, or an immature broken CAM reconciliation process, or it may not even be happening at all. They have loans that are coming due that are just a bit of a surprise to them. And then people are creating and updating rent rolls in spreadsheets on a regular basis. We have one customer that had these exact problems, and their portfolio consisted of about 35 strip malls and industrial spaces. Now, QuickBooks doesn't track all of these different pieces of the process, just elements of them. And so as a result, the owner operator has to track the rest in spreadsheets, and that's exactly what they were doing. And through that onboarding process, we discovered they had missed $90,000 in revenue for the year. Now, this is a significant case and maybe an outlier, but the subscription and the onboarding cost was just a fraction of that $90,000. Now they're set up to capture all of this revenue every single year. And we see the same exact scenario playing out across portfolios of all sizes. STRATAFOLIO is a web-based software solution that integrates seamlessly with QuickBooks, both desktop and online. We work with people who own and operate commercial real estate, and specifically, we work with people who have multi-year commercial leases. So they may own a retail building or shopping centers, industrial, medical, warehouse, anything with a multi-year commercial type lease. And we help with 4 specific areas. We help with finance management, which is providing a global and individual entity view of financial performance. We also help with asset management, which is a compilation of all of those assets that you own, including purchase information, size, and ownership structure. Operations management, which is a lot of that day-to-day activity for managing each asset. And then finally, there is the investor management, and that's tracking the investment and that ownership value, and then also providing an investor login portal as well. One of the things that sets us apart from other products in this space is that we focus on that small to mid-size owner-operator segment, and we continue to refine STRATAFOLIO to make it better assist our customers all the time. So with Stratafolio, you have an enterprise level product that fits alongside your established QuickBooks accounting foundation. So we're going to start with finance management. And we know that most owners or CFOs would like to see a global view of how all of their companies are performing. Yet the process to do this correctly is time intensive. So a lot of people don't actually do it. But with Stratafolio and that direct connection to QuickBooks, we make this process seamless and easy to do. And for a lot of our customers, this is the very first time they've actually seen a global cash flow. So through our mapping process, even if you have distinctly separate companies that have wildly different charts of accounts, we're able to provide you a single view. And I'm going to show you that. So with Stratafolio, you have access to a comprehensive view of your entire organization. In this case, Brookline is the parent company with 4 separate legal entities that reside within it. And I'll speak to the highlighted areas as I go through this. At the very top here, you can see the number of filters that allow you to control the information that you're seeing. And right now you're looking at a global view of Brookline companies, but you can select an individual entity or company and drill into that if you choose. And then next here, you can see the metrics from income all the way down to cash flow on a cash basis. And you can look at this either globally or by entity, and it's all real time if you have QuickBooks Online. And finally, you have over here on the right-hand side, you can see a detailed cash flow report that provides specific information about both the income that you're receiving and the expenses. And I'm going to show you how it works. By selecting the drop down under entity, you can select just a single entity to see how it's performing, or you can select different presets. And as you see, as we're changing the timelines, everything is dynamically updating. And as you hover over the graphs, more information will pop up for you as well. Everything is dynamic and in real time, and it gives you an instant view of your entire portfolio. And the benefit to you is you have quick access to view your portfolio as a whole, or you can peel away assets and look at a particular asset or asset type. This is a mobile-friendly application, so anytime you need to go in wherever you are, you can look at this. Now, the other side of the balance sheet is liabilities. And we developed this product or this portion of the product after talking to several owners and hearing the effort that their teams were expending to track their loans for lender reports and every single time that they purchased a new asset. And it's an entirely unique way to manage all your debt and assets. And we do meet regularly with lenders to show them what we're doing and make sure that this tool and the output from Stratafolio helps lenders so that they can help, or helps our customers so they can help that relationship with their lenders. And the lenders love this. Many lenders actually now recommend Stratafolio to their clients, and it can result in better rates for their clients simply because those lenders don't have to ask as many questions because the information is being provided to them correctly and quickly. So there's less risk to that lender. Let me show you a little bit more about how the dashboard works. So like before, these filters function the same way as on the owner's dashboard. They're dynamic and it controls the entire screen. And because we connect directly to QuickBooks, as you are paying your loans every single month, you will have an accurate record of your total debt. And then we recalculate your total equity and other important metrics like loan to value and debt coverage ratio. We're also monitoring to make sure that you're getting the notifications about loans that are coming due. Plus, we provide a global view of your interest rate and a breakdown of debt by lender and asset type. And finally, you're going to notice this large table at the bottom. And it's a list of every single loan that you have in your portfolio. And so it's all that vital information that you would send in a debt summary report to your lender. So, and you have the option to export it in Excel, CSV, or PDF, and you can include whatever columns or information you want to include. So the benefit to you is you have all your debt in one place and it's updated at all times, assuming, of course, that you are recording your debt correctly. The next thing we're going to talk about is asset management. Have you ever gone through a portfolio review with your insurance provider or lender and had to provide detailed information about each asset? I know some of you have, and we know that this is a difficult thing for a lot of companies. So with Stratafolio, we make things simple for you and your team. All the detailed information you need is accessible to you at any time from anywhere. So no more searching through emails, paper files, or memories to reconstruct what happened when. And yes, yes, it is possible to do all this manually in QuickBooks, but Stratafolio's direct connection to your files allows us to aggregate the data into your platform so you can see how everything is performing for you. So let's look at Lionfish. So here you can see this vital information about the building, such as when it was built, the rentable square feet, and plus you can click into the parcel link as well. And here, this is on the unit side. This is where we identify how much space is allocated for that building for each particular tenant. So in this case, we have Acme Parts, Fleming Lawn Care, and HVAC Central. So this is going to be important for us to know exactly later how much rentable square feet each tenant has when we do CAM reconciliation. And then here you can see your loans and valuations. And the point in all of this is that we're reducing the time that it takes to share this information with those people who need it. And by popular demand, we actually added a file management system. So this allows you to add files from anywhere in the system, tag that file with the type of file it is for easy retrieval, so you can save time by getting directly to the records that you need to access in seconds. I know before our customers used to manage their files through disconnected, inconsistent filing structures that really the original person who created it understood it and everyone else kind of struggles with it. But with Stratafolio, your data is organized in the same structure and you can grant access to anyone in your team who needs to see it so that you can easily pull data when you need to. So with Stratafolio, we're providing that all important interrelated details around the assets that are on your QuickBooks balance sheet, and we're pulling them together in one nice organized location with everything you do need. Next up is what we call operations management. And what we find is people who are using QuickBooks have to do much of their day-to-day operational tasks in spreadsheets. QuickBooks was built for accounting, but not property management. So most everyone has a rent roll, and it probably contains a lot of the very same information that you're seeing here on the screen: tenant name, leases, lease dates, some of the important terms. But with Stratafolio, everything is interconnected and nearly everything is exportable if you need it. So you're going to notice the colors here. So we provide you not only with visual alerts, but you also get emails alerting you to which leases are coming due or escalations are coming due, so you don't miss a lease escalation again in the future. The pain and the impact of this are real. We see it almost every day. 2 out of 3 people we talk to have missed a lease escalation at one point or another, and we know it's an awkward situation for owners. Let's dive into one of our tenants, Pharmacy Store, and learn more about them. So this is a mini lease abstract. So for this tenant, it contains a summary of the most critical elements of the lease available at a glance from wherever you are, along with some additional information on other tabs. And the tab that we're going to focus on is the OpEx tab, which contains your CAM or CAM reconciliation stuff. And here you can find below, you can see all of the historical operating expense budgets. In other words, everything associated with common area maintenance reconciliation is here. In this case, you can see the budgets for 19, 20, and 21. And we're going to look at the 21 budget. So this is the 21 budget. And here is, on this far left side, is the annual estimate. This is what you estimated your budget was going to be for the year. Next up is what you actually billed. So in this case, we billed about 51,000, but the total expenses were 40,000. So in this situation, because we had billed 51,000, we had expenses of 40,000, there was a credit of 11,000. And in this case, you can see there we're going to owe this tenant a credit. But the benefit with all of this is it's tied directly to QuickBooks. And it's also tied directly to the space that was allocated for each of these tenants. So all of the updates of expenses that are flowing through your QuickBooks and into Stratafolio, by the end of the year, all you have to do is press reconcile, and you can have your CAM reconciliation done in just minutes. Imagine having all of your CAM reconciliation done by the end of January. And we don't just stop there. We also help with with bulk invoicing. So right now, if you're invoicing out of QuickBooks, you're having to go in from one company file to the next and creating your invoices. With Stratafolio, we're pulling directly from all of that information we gathered from the leases around the escalations and how they happen over the years, your CAM, and you can create all of your invoices across all of your company files at once and send them out either electronically or paper if you choose. We also help with work orders. So you can track all of your outstanding work orders by priority, status, due date, and a lot of other things. So you have this complete history of all the work you've ever performed across your portfolio. So in the event you're getting ready to sell a property, you have a complete history of all of the work that was conducted within that building. You also can track the work that's associated with each of these tenants. So when it's time for lease renewal time, you can look back and see the types of work that you've had with these tenants and see if it makes sense to increase or decrease or not renew at all. But that information, it resides here, so you have a record of it. And you can also track your certificates of insurance. This was a highly requested feature because companies were struggling to make sure their tenants were complying with the insurance requirements. And some tenants were not. And there were two recent natural disasters where owners we were working with were caught holding the bag because their tenants had let their insurance lapse. So the insurance requirements are pulled directly from the lease and into the COI requirements for each tenant. And this feature in Stratafolio automates the tracking, the reminders, and verification of the insurance required of your tenants. So your tenant and your tenant's insurance agent, if they're known, are reminded multiple times about expiring insurance policies. This is a huge time saver for teams and it certainly reduces your risk exposure. So now you can wait for your tenant to upload your certificates of insurance. So with Stratafolio on the operational side, we're connecting the day-to-day activities of property management and connecting right back to that tenant or customer in your QuickBooks files. And finally, we're going to talk about investor management. So many of you have experienced that one investor or partner who is routinely calling and asking for updates. And you have to stop what you're doing and put together a report for them. And at the same time, many of you have also been involved in investor presentations to raise new capital. Nothing builds investor confidence with lenders and investors more than having real-time access to what's already out there. So this shows a list of every single investor in this particular portfolio. And we're going to take a look at Jane Doe, who runs the Brookline organization. And she is also an investor in her own company. So you can see here, Jane Doe has an investment of about $2.8 million. And if you look through here, you can see exactly what of her portion of every investment and how it's performing. So she's bringing in the last over time, she's brought in about $3.9 million in operating income, and she's made about $808,000 in cash flow on a cash basis. So that's her portion of every investment. And if she clicks on the distributions tab, then she can see a graphical representation of all of her investments and their performance since the inception. So here, Jane Doe has invested about $2.9 million over 3 investments, which is a total of about $1 million in distributions since the start. And in the last 12 months, there have been about $244,000 in distribution, which equates to an 8.41% cash on cash return. So this provides a really nice summary for your investors. They can log in and drill down to the period they're most interested in. This gives them a visual that is similar to what they might look at in a stock performance. So when it comes to software solutions, nothing sets you up for success more than an accurate initial setup, which is why Stratafolio does have a full service onboarding team. And we do a full service because we know that your teams are strapped for time. So how does it work? Well, you provide all the information, the loans, the leases, the spreadsheets, and we drive getting everything loaded and updated correctly. Our onboarding team, they're led by US-based accountants who are also QuickBooks Pro advisors, and they're expert at what they do, and they know real estate. 95% of the time, our onboarding team finds both lost and immediate opportunities to recover revenue. And these lost revenue opportunities amount to more than the actual cost of the software for most of our customers. And unlike other software customer service onboarding in the industry, we take great pains with both onboarding and then training afterwards. So your team is comfortable using the system, and then we're available for questions afterwards. We have training, we have frequently asked questions you can go to. There is a chat and email support. Plus, we have a large database of how-to articles that you can access at any time. Before we close, Lindsay, do we have any questions that we need to address from the chat?
Hey, Jerry. Yeah, actually, we got a few questions before the webinar, too, that I can see. So the first question is, how does Stratafolio grow with me as my business grows and I acquire new buildings?
Yeah. So our structure for pricing is based on the number of units that are in your portfolio. We have 3 different levels: essential, professional, and enterprise. The professional is really targeted at commercial real estate owners, and the enterprise also is targeted at commercial real estate owners, but it has a lot of the components necessary for tracking your investors. So if you want them to log in, they can look at that. But in every level, the essential, the professional, and the enterprise, it's a 10 units is what's in that package, and then you can add on to there as you grow your portfolio. So every time you buy a new property, you bring in another couple of units, you can just increase your subscription.
Great. There's one more question, and it's asking, I've been looking at different products, specifically Doorloop, Appfolio, and Yardi Breeze. What makes Stratafolio different from these companies?
Yeah, so those are all great products out there, but they are residential first products. And what we find based on the feedback that we have from our customers is that they're using those products, but they're having to do the commercial activities of CAM reconciliation outside of the system, that subscription they purchased. But they're also having a subscription to QuickBooks because they need to be able to run payroll or run their loans through QuickBooks. So they end up having to do double data entry and paying for a system that doesn't yet connect to QuickBooks. So it creates a lot of extra work for owners and operators, and they don't have that quick visual of their cash flow that they need to see.
Thanks, Jerry. That was the last question we received.
Okay. If other people have questions, just let us know. You can learn more about our pricing on our website, just stratafolio.com. You can click on that pricing link in the menu. Um, and then it goes through all the different options for essential, professional, and enterprise. And we are also happy to announce that through our new collaboration with Intuit, we offer bundled pricing for QuickBooks products. So with that, you get a perpetual discount if you purchase alongside a Stratafolio subscription. So a lot of times, as I was mentioning before, people need to be able to run payroll or timesheets, or they're buying additional properties and they need a new QuickBooks file. But Stratafolio provides an integrated solution, so you have everything you need in one place to run your business smoothly. So my contact information is here on the screen. Feel free to reach out directly, schedule some time, and following this webinar, you will also receive an email where you can directly schedule with our sales team. Okay, I think that ends it for today. Oh, one more question maybe?
Yes, Jerry, we received a question from David. Thank you for submitting that question. He asks, how about automated asset depreciation entries?
Thank you for that question. I appreciate it. This is something that other people have asked for. So right now that is not a feature that Stratafolio offers, but it is something that we have in our database of things that we are considering for the future. Thank you.
That was it, Jerry.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining today. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your afternoon.